Hey Magic fans, welcome back. Rant video incoming, just gonna warn you now. So let's shrink it down and try to calm it down, and I'll try not to rain off too much. But let's talk about why Wizards of the Coast doesn't give two craps about us and how their greed is basically ruined the tournament format. So before we get started with all that though, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comments down below, yada yada yada. Links in the description to all kinds of places I can sell cards. You can get some cards there and help out a player. All of them come in my box opening series, so they won't be counterfeit. Hint, hint on what's coming up. Um, Also, subscription's free. It keeps the sponsors out of the channel. I appreciate it. However, if ShamWow ever does find me, you're going to have to suffer because I love ShamWow. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's talk about Arena and why they don't care about Arena anymore. Other than the fact and the obvious, if you try to report something on Arena, if you report often and do not like their shenanigans, as they always tell you how they can't do anything about it, have no fear, they'll just block you. So, first things first, what they've already done in Arena to make sure you can't contact them. If you go here like this and you want to contact them about a event, the first thing that happens when you try to click on the button up in here, it brings into this where you have to sign in again. If you report a problem in your event, you have to sign in again, and then it takes you to your area where you then cannot submit the request. You have to go back through and submit the request again, or blah, blah, blah. So that's their first thing they like to do to try to keep people from submitting problems. This has all come after they took down the ability to post and such on their boards and their submissions due to amazing backlash. We covered this probably over a year ago, but now it's even better. Now, if you actually go in and submit something, once you manage to get in there, as with me, I had my game time out on me 6 to 7 games in a row, right when I was winning, causing me to lose. Now, mind you, this wasn't a paid event or anything, but I thought they might want to know, even though I'm a little pissed at them. I took my information off of there, but as you can see right here, I started it at 2026. Last activity was 2026 when it was solved immediately after I put it in. So there was no looking into it. There was no giving a crap about it. It was just, oh, look, someone finally figured out a way to submit a complaint, and we don't want to hear it, so we're just going to have them all auto-close. And I've noticed that all my complaints lately are auto-closing and me getting auto-emails generated by people who don't respond if I respond to them. So, if you're playing Arena and you want to make changes or you got some good ideas for them, give it up because they don't give a shit. They don't want to hear from you. They just want your money and don't care about anything else. So, all right. Rant over. Arena sucks. Let's move on. Now let's move on to counterfeits, which have become a problem in the environment once again. So when did this happen? So I was digging through some news, and I seen during the Cincinnati Star City games, 10K Modern, there was an opportunity to compete for a few high competitive events. It talks about all this stuff about people doing glory and prizes. It even mentions right here, where am I at? Right here, I found my mouse. While many of these tournaments don't always draw the same level of crowds as in previous years, yes, as in people aren't showing up because they're tired of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro's bullshit. Not so much Star City games. It's half a dozen 160 other with those guys. Nothing against them, nothing really for them. I like their content. I like the fact that they're doing events more than Wizards are, because heaven forbid Wizards promote their own fucking product. Anyway, still ranting. Now, unfortunately though, the events are filled with drama as multiple players were given game losses, disqualifications, and returned to replace specific cards, resulting in the use of counterfeit Magic cards. Unsurprisingly, players in the major tournaments are required to play with authentic Magic cards or can be penalized otherwise. Who knew you had to use the actual cards from the game? Now, that doesn't mean Star City has to enforce these rules, but to have a sanctioned tournament, they kind of have to. If they want to have a proxy tournament, they could probably do that, but I don't think that's going to be a big hit, and people don't want to do that. So, anyway, long story short, Star City Games is only enforcing rules put out by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Otherwise, I don't think they would even give two craps. Now, with that being said, we move on to this testicular fortitude. A drastic measure at Star City Games convention first. One Magic game player in particular was disqualified for using counterfeit cards during the main event. Unfortunately, this comes after he made top 8. Barring something unusually happening, this should guarantee a hefty payday. Unfortunately, however, after a lengthy deck check from a judge, the disqualification ruling would ultimately put an end to their tournament. So, what started the deck check in the first place? Well, the player had seen all 4 copies of Ragavan the Nimble Pilferer in Game 1. While this is absolutely a real possibility to happen normally, this could sometimes be a red flag that a player has intentionally marked their cards. And because of that, because the cards were fake, it's easy to say that they were marked, and we don't even know all of it. They could have been thicker, easier to pull, easier to side shuffle, shaped funny, God knows what. But, point being, if Wizards of the Coast has such good quality control, why is it so easy to counterfeit their cards? I mean, Ragavan is a brand new card. It should not be that easily counterfeited. Also, if Ragavan is so good that if you see all 4 of them in one game, which it being legendary, it means you can't get them on the battlefield at the same time. But if it's that good, maybe it shouldn't be allowed in the format if seeing 4 copies in one game makes people think that you're cheating. Because I'm going to be honest with you, in Modern, there are a lot of draw spells, shuffle abilities. There's lots of probability it can get you there. Now, I'm not saying this guy wasn't cheating. He very well could have been. Not saying that. I do not like the fact that the simple fact that 4 of one card was seen is a reason for a deck check for cheating. When I bet you if they'd have seen 4, lightning bolts, it would not have caused the same thing. Well, maybe lightning bolts might have. But 4 of another card might not have triggered such a thing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think counterfeiting should be taken care of in the grand scheme of things. But again, also, there are other rulings that can make this easily avoidable so that counterfeiting does not, or so that people who are the subject of counterfeit cards, whether they bought them or intentional, can be dealt with without complete disqualification. But, again, I had a buddy disqualify for the exact same thing because he was running a special art foil of Collected Company in his deck. Now, mind you, he should have known better, but at the same time, it was a legal Wizards card that had the probability of being able to use to be cheated. So, why do we have so many different cards that give people edges? People can find ways to cheat because all the cards are different. They're made different. It just doesn't help the environment. It's like they don't even care. Well, matter of fact, they don't. Anyway, so, this also was a post from the tweet here. Y'all DQ'd my sweet boy in a top 8. Incredibly pissed at whatever scumbag sold him fakes. He had an incredible run this weekend in his first 20K, and have to cut it short like this is absolutely heartbreaking. Thomas Gunn, whoever that is, or if that was you, sorry to hear it. I believe you're right. But these are also, the people who make fakes are probably also the same people who think these should be game pieces. And if they're game pieces, anybody can play with them, then, I guess so be it. But when you don't sell any product because everything's a game piece and it's easy to get anything for a nickel, do you think Wizards is going to sell a box of cards for $150 when every card in the pack's worth 5 cents and there's only 100 cards, we'll say 200 cards in the box? Well, we'll say 500 cards in the box. 500 cards in a box at 10 cents a piece is $50. Is that worth you buying $150 worth of cards? No, it's not. So, are these game pieces? No. So, it does suck that this happened. This is another reason why you should only buy from trusted vendors, i.e. me. Why not a selfless plug? Hell, why not? Anyway. So, moving on here, as mentioned already, the going right to the DQ is only going to happen if it's found to be intentionally playing with them. It just says in here that normally what happens is they make you replace the cards by going to buy some more in a timely manner. Apparently this game lost because of where it was, what stage of the event they were in, maybe time constraints, I don't know. They decided that complete DQ was necessary. I don't like that. I mean, make him buy replacements and then make him give up the prize money if he wins or something. I don't know. There's got to be a better way. Let him at least have the trophy. But then it brings up the whole, why not use a proxy tournament and yada yada yada. And for that matter, when it comes to tournaments, does it really matter? This is kind of contradicting what I say about collecting cards. Does it really matter if they're proxies or not when in the tournaments, other than money, which you pay up front, you're not winning anything past the money? Now, you may get into a tournament like the Pro Tour or whatever, and maybe those lead-in tournaments have to have real cards. But this is a 20K from Star City. Do they need to be non-proxy cards? It's just very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, well, that's that, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, Wizards just want your money. They don't care about you or the community. So, for the love of God, stop giving them your money. Make them earn it. So, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table. Hopefully next time I'm not all fired up after playing Arena and this bullshit.